Hi, my name is Miss Sarah, and I'm going to share a story with you today. At the end of the story, there will be some questions. You'll know the questions are coming because they'll start with, "I wonder." These questions are the kind where there's no right or wrong answer. You might hear a question and just know what the answer is. There might be another question that you have many answers to. And maybe there will be a question you don't have any answers to, or maybe you don't even understand the question. And all of that is okay. You can say as many or as few answers as you have. If you're watching with someone else, you might even have different answers than the other person has, and that's okay too. So, let's get ourselves ready to enter the story. This is the desert. It's not the whole desert. It's only just a piece of the desert. We need part of the desert for our stories because so many important things happened there to the people of God. The desert is a dangerous place. It almost never rains in the desert, so it's very hard for anything to grow there or to find any water to drink. People die without food and water. When the wind comes, it blows the sand, and the shape of the desert changes. People lose their way. The desert is a dangerous place. You need to be ready to go into the desert. The people of God were living in a place where the rains did not come. The crops had no water, so they could not grow. There was no grain to grind to make into bread. Everyone was hungry. The children cried in their sleep. So the mothers and the fathers decided to take their children and to go into a new land where there was food. They had to go, even if it was across the desert. It was hard in the desert, but they kept going toward the land called Egypt. In the land of Egypt, the king was called a Pharaoh. And when the people came into the land of Egypt, they found food and work. But the Pharaoh trapped them. They could not go home again. They had to do what the Pharaoh said. They had to live where the Pharaoh said. They had to get up when the Pharaoh said. They had to go to bed when the Pharaoh said. They had to eat what the Pharaoh said. They had to do the work that the Pharaoh said. They had to do everything the Pharaoh said. They were slaves. One of the people, whose name was Moses, came to the Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." The Pharaoh said, "No." Moses went back many times to tell the Pharaoh, "Let my people go." But the Pharaoh always said, "No." Then many strange things happened in the land, but the Pharaoh always said no. Then something terrible happened. The oldest boy in each Egyptian family died, even in the family of the Pharaoh. The oldest boys in the families of the people of God did not die, because the people made a mark on the doors of their houses. They put the blood of a lamb there, and the angel of death passed over them. When Moses went back this time and said, "Let my people go," the Pharaoh said yes. Then the people began to hurry. They gathered and packed everything that they could carry. There was no time to waste. They had no time to put leaven in the bread, so it would swell up and get big and puffy like the bread you buy in the store. It was flat. You can still eat this bread today. It is called matzo. Whenever you taste it, you can still taste this story. The people went as fast as they could. They were afraid that the Pharaoh would change his mind. Suddenly, they heard a sound they did not want to hear. The ground began to shake. The Pharaoh's army was coming after them. The beating of the horses' hooves and the rolling of the chariots sounded like thunder. The army of the Pharaoh pushed the people against the water. They did not know what they would do. God came so close to Moses, and Moses came so close to God that he knew how to take the people through the water into freedom. This one looks so scared. He can hardly move. This one is running. This one is so happy. This one is confused. When all of the people were safe on the other side, the water closed behind them, and they were free. The army of the Pharaoh could not get them. Now all of the people were free on the other side. They were so happy they just had to give thanks. And Miriam, the sister of Moses, led the dancing. I wonder what part of this story you liked best. I wonder what part of the story is the most important. I wonder what part of this story is about you, or who you are in the story. I wonder if there is any part of the story we can leave out and still have all the story we need. This is like the flat bread that people made so quickly. You can still eat it today. Whenever you taste this bread, you taste this story. This is the bread of the Passover feast. It is called matzah. Maybe you will eat or even make matzah and taste it with your family. There's nothing in it except for flour and water. The people of God had to hurry. There is no leaven in the bread to make it get big and puffy like the bread you buy in the store. This is unleavened bread. What you taste is the story.